Hey guys, Dodge Ram coming at you. I'm going to say something right now. Kids are very disrespectful nowadays. I'm not sure if it's the kid that needs their butt tore up or the parents. Um, let's just put parents can blame their kids. Oh, my kid's so sassy. No, I think it's the parent that is lack of parenting is all it is. Kids go around nowadays going to tell their parents, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and there's nothing you can do to tell me otherwise. You know, had I said something like that when I was growing up, after I picked my sorry tail off the ground, I would get another butt whooping. That's what kids need nowadays, but parents are being too soft. You need to raise your kids right. I know quite a couple kids who just tells their parents, I'm gonna do this, hey, I'm gonna do that, and like you don't ask. If you're gonna live under their roof in their house, eat their food, they're the ones that pay your bills. You need to stand up, parents. You need to stand up and freaking, you know, light fire under their butt, pretty much. I mean, the kids are like how they are because parents won't raise them. And then parents wonder how when they get to be in their teenage years, how they end up in jail because of lack of parenting. You'll need to stand up and freaking raise your kids right. And then kids bring up, oh, when I'm 18, I'm going to get out of here. I'd like to see you try. I'm 19 years old and I'm struggling to pay bills right now. I'm living by myself in a 2-bedroom house. And that's another reason why I'm moving. I, the video has yet to upload about that, how I'm moving, I believe. But I'm moving, and that's one reason why, because I can't even support myself right now. I quit my job so I can move, and everything else. No, not the only reason, but still. Regardless, I'd like to see you try when you're 18. Try to pay your own phone bill. Try to pay your own rent, your own car insurance, payments on a car or something. You know, I was making $13.75 an hour at this last place that I just quit. I had $500 a month of rent. My insurance at the time was $274. My phone bill is $75 a month. And then, if you're renting a place, you still got these things called lights, and then trash and water and all that stuff that ties in. That's under utilities when you rent. So kids, if you think that when you're 18 things will be better, it won't. It'll actually be worse, and then it won't be long. You'll be going back to your parents. You will want them and be like, you will say sorry to them. So you need to show respect. Because you disrespect them now, they ain't going to help you when you're later in life. When you're struggling to pay bills. Hey, can I borrow a few bucks or something? You know, I would suggest you have a job before you move out. So, you know, kids, respect your parents. Parents, discipline your children when they need to. There's a quote that's in the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the child. Well, I've heard people say, well, you can't do that, it'll warp their mind. Well, if you don't do it, it'll warp your mind. They'll warp your mind. So, I grew up on butt whoopings and stuff, which is how I am which is why I am the person that I am today. Why I believe I am, because that's how I was raised. All these kids that show so much disrespect to their parents, they're not going to make it through life. I see them going to juvie at 15 years old. So, parents, stand up. Kids, stop disrespecting your parents. Because if you're going to live under their roof, eat their food, sleep in beds that they paid for, you need to show them more respect. That's all there is to it. So, yeah, think twice before the next time you say, when I'm 18, I'm going to do this. I'm 19 years old and I'm struggling and I wish I was back to a kid again. I'm only 19. I'm barely making it through life right now. So, yeah, that's all I got to tell you. I hope this video goes viral because I believe everyone needs to listen to this. So, parents, discipline your kids. Take the belt to them. All I can say is that in the future, if I have a family and I hear one of my kids talk to my wife that way, they're getting their tail end tore up. Or if they talk to me that way. Because I grew up, if I ran my mouth like that, my dad took the back of his hand, smacked across me, and knocked my tail on the ground, and then he would pick me up, and then I'd get a butt whooping. Of course, that's a southern way of being raised, but still, regardless, that's how my kids are going to be raised. That's how I was raised. That's how my dad was raised. That's how my dad's dad was raised. And it seems to work. It lights a fire right under their tail. And I'll tell you what, they'll think twice before they run their mouth again, especially when they get older. And another thing that kids don't realize, I grew up, you are never too old for a butt whooping. So all these kids can be like 15, 16 years old. Oh, I'm too old for this. My kid ain't gonna be raised that way. I wasn't raised that way. I was still getting butt whoopings when I was 17 years old. So, yeah. Well, and then people want to say, "Oh, that's child abuse." No, it's not. Tell me where it says that it's child abuse. It's not. It's freaking discipline. There's a difference between child abuse and discipline. Discipline is where you set your kid straight. If he or she is standing here running her mouth, you take your belt off and you gonna blister her butt, his or her butt. Child abuse is if the kid has done absolutely nothing and then you punch them or you throw them in the floor or something. That is child abuse. And if you leave bruises on them, like my mother did me. Not my biological mom, the one I grew up calling mom. Regardless, I'm tired of seeing all the disrespect these kids are giving parents. So parents, stand up to your kid and discipline them.